So this is part 2 of conjunctions. Remember conjunctions, we're dealing with the word and instead of or. Like Gabby and Cecilia go to the office, they would go together. Not Gabby or, and they get to choose, right? So when you're dealing with and, you're looking for, when you graph the two solutions, you're looking for what they have in common. Okay, what part of the number line do they both share? As your answer, you can either highlight the part that they both share as your answer, or you would rewrite it as this, where you take away the extra little arrow. Okay, do y'all remember that? Okay. This is how you would write the answer. If they didn't ask you to graph it, if they didn't say, show the graph or graph it in your answer, then you would write this. You need to graph it first. Okay, and then whatever part that they share, you write it like this. Okay, you should have the notes on that. Again, which part of the number line do they share or have in common? All right, we talked about if they didn't say and they just gave you the little symbol, you would know that the TP, the upside down little thing, means and. We did this one where they didn't share anything. So therefore, the answer was empty set. If they have nothing in common, then it's empty set. All right, now here's one, took it a step further. We had to first solve for x on both. Make sure you're careful with the inequality, that if you divide or multiply by a negative, that you flip the sign. Then you graph it, and we determined that this part right here of the number line is where both share or have in common. This arrow didn't go this way, so this was only one of them. So they don't have that in common. Just where both arrows are going. And it's written like this. Okay? Because this one did not include negative 6, even though this one right here included negative 6. So they both have to include negative 6 to be able to say less than or equals to. Okay? But since only one, and this one did not, we don't say and equal to. Okay? If we were to just show this as a graph, as an answer, it would look like this. If they wanted a graph as an answer, it would look like that. You wouldn't have to show all of this. Okay. Then we did this, where it wasn't separated at all, and it had two inequalities. I showed you that we would write it out, and then you would take your finger and cover up just to the other side of the inequality, write that equation down, and solve for x. And then you would cover up just to the other side of the inequality and write that equation and solve for x. Remember that? And then we would graph it, and there's your answer. Again, if they tell you to graph it and show the answer, you would graph it. If you want to do it like this and just do the highlighted area to show your answer, that's fine. If you want to graph it, clean it up a little, it would need to look like this. So if you don't want to highlight the combined areas, then you would have to rewrite the graph like this. Either or. Okay, here's another example that we did. This was a lot longer. Covered up just to the other side of the inequality, rewrote the equation. Covered up just on the other side of that inequality, rewrote the equation, solved, and then graphed. and there's the place in common. Any questions so far? All right, we did number 3. As you can see, this was easy, and that tells you and. So we graphed it, and here's our answer. Again, you can either highlight this or rewrite it without all the extra. We did 5. This had nothing in common, so the answer is empty set, and there's the graph. We did 11. They already had it separated, so we had to solve for x on both sides, graph, and then there was our answer. That one, it didn't tell you had to show the graph, but I told y'all need a graph anyway to come up with the answer. Any questions so far? Okay, so let's continue now. That was number 11. Okay, we're going to do 17. Seventeen is 4x minus 2 minus 5x greater than 10 and 3x minus 6 is less than or equal to 12. All right. Okay, so this means and. They've already separated the 2 equations. I'm going to rewrite them so then we can solve for x. Okay, Taylor, talk me through solving for x on this first one.
Three combiner like terms, which is 4 and negative 4x and then 5x.
And what does that become?
What's that? Negative 1x.
And I'm rewriting my problem. Does everyone see where he got negative 1x? All right. Now what do I do?
Now you add both sides by 2.
Adding 2 on both sides. And I get negative 1x is greater than,
12.
Now what do I do?
You move the negative sign to the other side, so basically divide both sides by negative 1.
That's right. We're basically dividing both sides by negative 1. So what do I get?
X is less than negative 12.
Why did you say x is less than negative 12?
When dividing the line by negatives, the sign switches.
That's right. So since we're dividing by a negative, then we need to flip the sign. And 12 divided by negative 1 is negative 12. Good job. Any questions about how he solved that? Make sure you have all of this step by step down. All right, Michael, solve this one.
You add 6 on both sides.
Adding 6 on both sides. And I get 3x is less than or equal to what?
18.
Now what?
And you divide 3 on both sides. And then x is less than or equal to 6.
That's right. We didn't have to flip the sign because we're dividing by a positive. Any questions so far? Okay, so now we're going to graph it. It didn't say that you had to graph it as an answer, but we need to be able to get our answer. So I have negative 12 down here. And let's see. Gabby, is this going to be an open or closed circle? And it says x is any number less than negative 12, so which direction does it go? Good. And then I've got over here 6. Michaela, is that an open or closed circle? And it says x is any number less than, so which direction? And you can see where they have in common. This area all right here. And so on. So Cecilia, what would your answer be? That's right. So x is any number less than negative 12. And as she said, negative 12 is greater than x. That's the same thing. Good job.
How do you get that?
How do I get what?
I get 12 is greater than x.
How did I get it? You are the one that told me.
I don't understand it.
Huh?
I don't understand it.
Okay, how did you get?
I just want that.
Okay, so this is the area that they had in common, right? Okay, so x is any number, x is in the yellow, that's less than negative 12. Because right here is where both of the lines start. Right here and right here. Do you see that? So look right here. So this is the part where they both have in common. So this represents x. Do you see that? So then x is any number that is less than negative 12, because negative 12 is where they both cross, except this right here, because it's open, means you don't include negative 12. This line includes negative 12, but they both have to include negative 12. Therefore, that's why it's not less than or equal to. Does that help? Okay. What?
On the other pages, when we had our answer, we there's a page where it was 6 is greater than or is a less than or or
We had 2.
equal to x. Yeah, like why didn't we have 2 on the other one?
Because the shaded part is in between those two circles. So x is greater than 6, because it's after 6, but it's also less than 12. It's in between those two, right? So therefore, x is greater than or equal to 6, but also less than 12. Whereas this one, it just keeps going on and on and on and on. It never stops. So if it's in between, like this one right here was in between negative 2 and 1. Therefore, x is in between, any number in between negative 2 and 1.
So if they go the same way, then you're only gonna have one answer.
That's right. So, like this one right here, it only is negative 6 and then on, so then x is less than negative 6. Good question. All right, y'all ready to do another one? 19. X does not equal negative 3 and x equals negative 3.
And?
Yeah. So this one, there's no work to be done, so we're just going to graph it. So if x does not equal -3, how would that look for a graph? Taylor?
So, open circle, arrows go in both directions,
That's right.
and then a closed circle on top of that.
All right, wait. So x does not equal -3. That means x can be any number but -3. So it's an open circle because it can't include -3. And then it's any number other than -3. We've done this before, right? Right? Now let's graph this one. X can only be -3. X can only be -3. There's no arrow because it's not an inequality. X can only be -3. This one, X does not include -3. This one, it does. So do they have anything in common?
Yeah,
What do they have in common?
-3. Wait, no, they don't, never mind.
This one does not include -3. This one does. So, Cecilia, do they have anything in common? Empty set. They have nothing in common. This first one, all the numbers except for -3. This one, only -3. They have nothing in common. All right, 21. Four x plus 6. I don't like that one. Don't do that one. Let's do 23. I like 23. -2 is less than x plus 4 is less than 7. This will be the last one.
Yay.
Michaela. We have two inequalities, so we have to separate into two equations. What would my first equation be?
So you put parentheses by the -2 like behind it, and then you put it again after the 4.
Bingo. So we're going to cover up just to the other side of that inequality, and there's one of my equations. -2 is less than x plus 4. And then, Cecilia, what's my other one?
X plus 4 is greater than 7.
Less than. Okay, so she's correct. We're going to cover up just to the other side of that inequality. So then this one is x plus 4 is less than 7. Now we solve. This is going to be easy, so I'm going to just help out. Whoops, we're going to move the 4 over, so we're subtracting 4 on both sides. And I get -6 is less than x, or we can say x is any number greater than -6. And then I'm moving the 4 over here. And I get x is less than what? Anyone?
3.
Now we graph. So this one right here, Aiden, open or close circle?
Close. I mean, open.
Open. In which direction?
I know it.
X is any number greater than? It goes to the right. Open or closed? Whit?
Open.
And it says x is any number less than 3.
So
What-
it's gonna go to the left.
Gonna go to the left. So, look at where they have in common. Between the -6 and the 3. So, Whit, you tell me, what does my answer look like?
-6 is less than x, which, and then x is less than 3.
He is correct. Do you understand how that works now?
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions? All right, I'm setting you free. Page 160. Numbers. Two. Ten through 20 even for everyone.
Wait.
I mean 2 through 20 even. Sorry. And 24 and 26. 12 problems. Due Tuesday. Go for it. Already checked all your IXL. You have a test Friday. Test Friday. Test Friday. All y'all did your IXL. Congratulations.
Oh, yeah, that's good.